wall, and now you just take that little buzz cutter, man, and you can cut it straight and square.
Yeah. A flush cutting tool. Is that what you said?
Flush cutter. Yeah. Like a flush cutter. So like, and one of my favorite places to use it on is like at the bottom of a piece of trim where it meets the floor.
Yeah.
You got to slide some tile underneath of it.
Yeah.
You can put that piece of tile right up to that piece of trim, and that flush cutter, it's got a real thin blade, and it vibrates back and forth, and it just cuts the bottom of that piece of trim, where you used to have to actually tear the whole entire piece of trim off.
Right.
And then cut it and then nail it back on. And of course, when you did that, you ripped the sheetrock off the wall because it was cocked to the wall. And, big mess.
Man. Crazy. I'm fascinated by life itself, because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing something or around a certain topic. There's always stuff about that you don't know. Yeah. No matter, like, I've never heard of that. I would have still thought if you'd asked me this morning, you said, hey man, I've got this problem. I got to get this tile to slide up under there. And I've been like, hey, rip that baseboard off.
Yeah.
Let's just get right into it.
Yeah, now there's an incredible tool. Of course, Ryobi has one. They're battery operated. They're super easy to use. The blades are a little expensive, but not real bad. I mean, you can get 3 blades for like $40, and they'll last you a while if you use them right. Don't hit nails with them and stuff. But
that's pretty cool. We went live, guys, during that conversation. Welcome. Everyone out there in the ether. I call it the ether. Some people call it the cloud. I don't know what it is, but you're there, and thank you for being here. And we're here. Jason Amberson is here. Okay, and if you don't know Jason Amberson, I want you to suck it in, tighten up your belt, okay, because he's going to take us for a ride today, and it's going to be great. Jason is a good friend of mine. We don't hang out at bars or anything, mischievous like that. We're not friends like that. We're friends because I recognize a quality in this man, and he's an intelligent man. He's a busy man. He is an accomplished man. And so, I don't know, we were just chatting through text, I think, wishing each other a Merry Christmas. And I said, hey, you, why don't you consider coming on the show and telling us about what you know? And he was more than willing to do that. So
we'll stop it, Justin. You're making me blush. No, I really appreciate that.
Well, Jason Amberson is from my market, my local market, and that's Kansas City, Missouri, if you don't know. I don't know if you work both sides, Kansas and Missouri. I'm assuming you do.
I do. I'm licensed in both states. Yes.
Yep. So, he's all world around here. And if you look him up on Google, you'll find that he's associated with a company called EXP Realty, okay, which is also on another level, y'all. So I want to open up the chat. And you guys feel free to unmute your microphones if you're in the Zoom room. If you're not in the Zoom room and you want to be, where you can interact with us with live Q&A, go ahead and do so at www.zoomjustin.com. That'll take you right here to us. Otherwise, I assume you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope or some of the others. Anyway, hey, like and subscribe us. Join up with us. We're here for you. This is a program all about you. If you are wanting to get started in real estate, especially, but even if you're wanting to take your business to the next level, we want you here. You belong here. We're your new family. Welcome to the Real Estate Wholesalers Club. It's all about getting you to that next level of shut up money. Okay. That shut up money where you can tell your doubts and fears. Guys, I know what it's like. I bet Jason does too. And I'll let him take off here. Where you lay in bed at night and you're like, oh God,
where's my next dollar coming from?
I don't feel like a spiritual or religious man, but tonight, oh God.
It's funny you say that, because I do. And that is one, I have a lot of faith in the Lord and put a lot of trust in that and make sure that, I don't worry as too much, but I'm always wondering, always got to wonder where it's coming from.
Man, I'll tell you what, I am a faithful man myself.
I know you are. I know you are.
I really am a believer. I was telling somebody this the other day, man. I'm glad you said this, and I'm not ashamed of this. And you shouldn't be ashamed of whoever you be. But this is what I'm not ashamed of. I am a believer. Okay. Yeah. I am a believer wholeheartedly, 100%. And I know who our creator and our source is. I commune with him. I've made my peace with him. Okay. But at the same time, I'm down here living in this valley of the shadow of death every now and then. Oh yeah. I have been through some trying times, and I know what has helped me keep me strong is, well, my faith, but also my family, and also my purpose and my mission in real estate. Those three things really have that's why you don't see me in the gutter with a needle in my arm, just to keep it real,
for sure. Absolutely.
And, a lot of people probably can relate to that. There's certain things that keep us, stable and keep us balanced. And that's the way it should be, I believe. But anyway, I don't know why I'm preachy this morning. Hey, God bless all of you out there.
Amen, brother. No, Jason, I think it's super important. And one thing I will touch on just real quick about that I went down to the Thomas Edison, and Ford, they have a plantation down in Florida, and inside of Thomas Edison's little shop, he had a little shop right next to his big shop where he did all his experiments. He had a cot in there, and when I feel like my most anxiety, when I'm at the top of my anxiety, I will just go lay down.
Yeah.
Usually people react completely opposite. That walk around and go pacing and chewing their fingernails.
Yeah.
I will go lay down and just, say a quick prayer and relax for about 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then just get up and hit it again.
Yeah. Man, I totally agree with you on that. Sometimes I've learned about myself in my 40 something years that, I will hit these walls every now and again where it's like I don't know, I just don't even feel good. Like my emotions, I don't feel good. Like I feel down. My motivation's off, my inspiration's off. You know what I've determined what a lot of that is just I need to take my butt to bed and get some sleep, man. And just let it go and get a fresh mind about it, and I don't know who that was for.
I know it's funny what we're talking, but it seems like some of this stuff's got to be for somebody.
Yeah, we don't normally talk about this kind of thing.
You got to have one of these guys too.
Gosh, man,
you're speaking. You guys are speaking to me.
Good.
You're speaking to me.
Good. Yes, because you just got to relax. Amen. Sometimes.
God bless you. Yes, because I've been on the edge. It's driving me crazy. God is good. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes you just when they say you got to just let go and trust God, that's what I do to do that.
Yes.
My bedroom, I lay down.
Let go, let God.
Let go, let God. Just, I'm not going to worry about this,
And that's exactly what I do. Yep, lay down and just ask God to just give you peace. Rest in Him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an awesome way to start this program, Justin, and. You asked me a question, and we'll get down into business here. You asked me a question when we were talking a little bit before this deal. What would be my number one topic number one message that I would want to get across on this? And that would probably be actually the number one. I think it's most important of anything.
Yeah.
As far as a business aspect, we're going to be talking about two different business aspects.
Sure.
I feel like I'm pretty well versed in, and one is on the flip side of things in construction and buying houses and making sure that you're going to make money in that.
Yeah.
The number one thing I would want to get across is that you make your money on the front end of it. And it's very important to understand the costs involved.
Yeah.
And the things that can be hidden in the wood pile, the snakes in the wood pile. So that would be number one on that aspect of it. And the number one aspect of the real estate side of it, if there's realtors watching or anybody that wants to become a real estate agent, is the EXP is we're on the cutting edge of technology, and really it's an incredible opportunity on many different levels. And we're 10 years old, but as far as I'm concerned, we're still brand new. We're growing exponentially. We're fastest growing real estate company in history, actually. So that's going to be something fun we can talk about here in a little bit too. But so if anybody has any questions or anything, but Justin, what would be the number one thing that, as far as what would be the first thing that you would tell somebody about buying a house?
Well,
get that fun money or whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You brought up a couple great topics here. If I could sum it up, be smart and pray. Okay. Make good decisions as best you can and pray. Now, you said something about making money as a real estate investor, and you're both. You're a realtor and a real estate investor, and so you're versed in how both sides look at things. A lot of us are on one side of the fence or the other, looking over at the other side. It's kind of interesting to see someone and talk to someone that has the perspective of both sides. And you mentioned that when you are making money as an investor in real estate, that you're not making money on the sell side when you already have a property or you control a property and you sell it. You're really making it when you're negotiating with the original contract holder or the owner, and when you're getting the deal put together. You make the money when you buy, I believe is what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my people fail for lack of vision. With you got to set that vision when you're buying that house. You got to know what's your purchase price. Number one thing, obviously, that you're going to understand that. And then you got to understand what the what kind of things are going to need to be repaired on the house.
Yeah.
And you have to understand those costs. And I'd say that
this is scary for people when they're first getting going. I've noticed.
Well, and that it should scare them, because the number one thing that kills people, investors, some of these people that have a nice chunk of change. They've been working hard for a long time in their life, and they have a nice, maybe 100,000 or a couple 100,000, and they've been watching HGTV, and they think it'd be fun to go and fix up a house and make some money.
Right. Like it works like Property Brothers or something.
Yeah. And within an hour, the house is completely done, and it's the most gorgeous house you've ever seen in your life. And so you got an offer before you stuck a sign in the yard.
I never really got dirty. I didn't really break a sweat.
Was able to drink a cold tea.
I had a bit of a spat with my brother, but we got over it. We learned a life lesson.
Yeah. So
it's not really like that.
No, we both know that it's not really like that at all. It's very, very in depth and very what's the word for it? You got to be very tenacious and determined to make something like that happen. And so back to where we were going with that is that you got to know those costs, and you got to understand, and you got to have that vision, and you got to have it all basically written out, and you got to know when that date is that you're going to be putting that sign in that yard, and how much you're going to be selling that house for, and what the surrounding homes are bringing. And there's a lot of guys out there, I see it happen all the time, that they put these ambiguous numbers on these comps, and they share these comps with these houses, and they're 25, 30% over what the real actual comp value is of that house. And if there's anything that kills new investors quicker, that's one thing. And the other thing is the contractors that they work with.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Contractors that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That are honest.
Yeah.
Have the integrity. Then they're going to write a check to them, and they might disappear. So those are the two things I think are the biggest killers for new investors.
Wow. Man, let's talk about both those things. What he's describing here, guys, you might be thinking in your mind, hey, I'm a real estate wholesaler. This sounds like he's talking about fixing and flipping, or buying and fixing, or buying hold, or I'm not interested in doing that. Yes, you might not be interested in doing that right now, but your buyers are. Okay.
Absolutely.
So you want to understand your customer. Okay. So we're talking about things that are important for the wholesaler here as well. But you said the two things that really kill a guy when he's coming in to buy a place and fixing it is, number one, what was it? The numbers being way off?
Having those numbers right. You got it. So a lot of times that's what we're, if you're a wholesaler, I think it's your duty and your steward to as a steward to mankind to understand the valuation of that property and to be honest about it. Yeah. And it's going to help you in the long run. You might make a quick buck by BSing somebody that, that $150,000 house is going to sell for $200,000, on ARV prices. Yeah. And you're the one that's responsible for that. Be honest about it, because it kills these guys. They've been working hard for this money for years and years, and they may not know, and you might take advantage of them. But as a wholesaler, it's so important for you to know what the comps are out there.
Exactly. Yeah. You should go, not you, but if you're out there in the world listening, go to my YouTube page and check out a video called Putting It All Together. Putting It All Together. I talk about this from my heart, about the importance of knowing and understanding your customer as a wholesaler, your buyer, understanding their pains, understanding their risks, okay, and doing right by them, because this is how you build a business. Guys, if I opened a pizzeria, would I want people to visit my pizzeria one time and then never come back? Absolutely not. I would want them to order a pizza every Friday night, right? The same way with a real estate wholesaler business. I don't know why some folks get in it thinking differently than this, but it's the same principle. If I do right by a buyer once, I've got a great confidence and possibility of doing right by them a second time, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and giving them a good, what I call, experience. It's not just about the numbers. It's about, were you there on time? Also, were you professional? Did you forget to let the title company know about the assignment agreement? What have you? Are you holding the deal back, slowing it down, or are you kind of pushing it forward? Giving them a good experience. It's all about that. So having your numbers right.
I think it's one of the number one things that you need to know. I think it's one of the number one things that you need to be responsible for. And
absolutely.
And if you're brand new to the wholesaling, reach out to a professional like me. That's going to be able. I can develop I use two different programs. I use the MLS, the comparative market analysis, and I use the Realtor Property Resource, and I build two pictures of what I really truly believe the after repair value of that house is going to be. And the investors that I work with, they can be sure and confident when they purchase that house that they know on the backside of it, if they do their work and they work with their contractors and good contractors and do nice work, that they're going to be able to get very close within a 5% bullseye of those market analysis.
Yeah, that's great. So that's great. Now, see, that's creating a good experience for your buyer. Now, what's interesting is you said that wholesalers can contact a realtor like yourself and work with a realtor like you to create a better picture of what the numbers should be. Is that true? I mean, and how does that work? And
well, some agents might work with you, some won't. I do, because I know that in the ether that when I help people, they're going to help me later.
Yeah.
I know that, I'm paying it forward when I do that.
Yeah.
And also investors that work with me, typically they're so confident in the the valuations that I give them, they want to work with me, and they want that, and usually they'll repay me by letting me list the property on the back.
Yeah. So
when they purchase a house.
Yeah. I agree with you. And this is, I've been saying this a lot lately, and people have heard me, but it's creative real estate. It's what we call it. And it's creative because you have to be a little creative. And that's exactly the case. You're gonna need to be creative with the seller. You might need to be a little creative with the realtor and creating an opportunity for them in the deal as well. And that might be, listing the property after your buyer has fixed it and is ready to sell it. There's lots of ways to be creative, and knowing that going in, and knowing that absolutely 100% of everything in real estate is negotiable. Is that right? Everything,
that's right.
100% of everything negotiable. So
until you write it down in paper and sign it, there's nothing that you're held accountable for. So you sign that paper.
So you can be creative, and you can create win-win situations for people. You can work with realtors, and you can work with brokers as well. Now you're a broker too, is that right?
I'm not a broker.
No, okay.
I'm an agent owner. Because of EXP, we are. It's an agent-owned company, and we're nationwide. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But no, I'm not a broker, and I don't know that I ever will be, because of the model that EXP's created for me.
Yeah. Well, what got you involved in real estate to begin with, Jason? And what is what was the first thing? Was it a license, or was it something else, or was it, kind of walk us through?
Quick snapshot of just my last. I'm 49 years old. Right out of high school, for the first 10 years, I was a framing carpenter. And then I met a buddy of mine who is, his folks were real estate agents, and they were doing fix and flips. And he started doing fix and flips. He's about 3 years older than me. And he started using me to come in and do the framing. And then I started doing the sheetrock, and then I started doing the electrical, and because I didn't have time to wait for the electrician to get there. So, plumbing and electrical, and I just kind of started doing all of it. And then about 1998, I started my own remodeling company. And I did that for about 10 years, and 2008 hit. And it just took all the wind out of my sails.
Wow.
I just didn't want to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. I would, flipping and wholesaling is definitely a lot easier than actually buying or fix and flip, but then I went into insurance. I bought a computer back in the 2000 and trying to, started educating myself on computers.
Yeah.
And then I went into insurance for about 5 years.
What kind of insurance?
Book. I was on salary, which was the best thing that I'd ever been.
Property and casualty, or
property, casualty, and life and health. Actually, I got license in both and was doing.
There's some similarities between you and I wasn't aware of. This is
really
this is getting cooler.
Well, we're entrepreneurs, and I think there's a path to that. But so I wasn't building my own book, and I was on salaries, and I had never been on salary before. I was a carpenter. You work, you get paid. You show up, you get paid. You don't.
Right. You get paid when the job's done, right?
You get paid sometimes when the sometimes. But and then I went back into construction with a company called Pro Builders for about a year. I was a superintendent. It's a roofing company. And that they started trying to want me to do some remodel and stuff. And I've been down that road, and it's not easy. And so I decided I wanted to go get my real estate license, and it had always been in the back of my head to get my real estate license. And so that's what I did back in 2015. So I'm in my 5th year now, and I love it. It fits me to a T.
That's great.
One of the things that one of the brokers that I worked for, he taught me that you become a better person, and you're going to be a good real estate agent.
Yeah.
It's all about focusing on becoming the best person that you could possibly be and helping other people.
Yeah.
And I really, that's settled well with me because of my personality and my love for other people as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just want to help people, so.
Yeah. I put a quote on the Facebook group that said, it was from Jim Rohn. I don't know if anybody ever recognized that, but I'll give him credit for it because that's where I stole it. Jim Rohn, he's passed away now, but he's one of my favorite motivational speakers of all time, and actually the favorite, my favorite. And he said, don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. And that's kind of how he talked when he said it. Don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. And man, I wish I could take that and put it in a can and sell it because that right there is what sums up what you were talking about a little bit.
It really is. Yeah.
It really is how it works.
And
that kind of goes back to how we started the show, which is we've gone way off track today, but it's okay. I have sat here at this desk many, many times, with all the experience I have, with all the things I've done and not done. I've sat here and I've said to myself, I need this to be easier, or I need to be better. God help me here. And I'm telling you that, just then getting up and, maybe taking a nap or whatever, and then getting up and going right back after it and just keep doing this. And I've been doing this for years and years, just like you have, man.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the only thing that works. So, at least for me.
I agree. I think, if you go into we're going into the realm of self-improvement.
Yeah.
And personal development. And, every single person I've ever met that was successful says the same thing.
Yeah.
It's, become a better person.
Yeah.
Give, and you will get.
Yeah.
And, and the principle there is biblical as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's hugely important.
He goes on to say, don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and your failures, quote unquote failures, are just lessons.
Yeah.
You put them in your back pocket and you move on. They're not failures at all. They're lessons, and not to do it again next time.
Yeah.
They become failures when you continue to repeat the same stupid things over and over. So,
yeah. And I'm guilty of that too, man. I've done it. And I can't even, and I look back on it and I'm like, I can't even believe I just did that again.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world is wrong with me? Why did I not learn my lesson in real estate the 6 other times before this one?
Yeah. So, back to things not to do. Like I said, knowing the importance of the value of the house when it's done is the most important thing you need in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Now, of course,
let's talk about that, man. How does a real estate wholesaler or a brand new investor, let's say I just want to even go buy a property, and how can I be certain that the information my realtor friend is giving me and what my dashboard on my real estate tool is telling me, how can I be more certain? Is there anything that you recommend that I do to know better what that figure is we're talking about ARV, right?
Right. After repair value. And, really, I think that the resources for the individual are somewhat limited out there. I think if you spend $400 or $500 and get an appraisal, that's probably going to be your best, most secure way. But I think that, like I said, I think the number one thing would just be to reach out to a real estate agent that you can trust.
Or I will say not all real estate wholesalers and not all successful real estate wholesalers have a license, but a lot of them do. y'all.
Yeah.
A lot of them do. If you look into it, look past the wholesale, gear that they're wearing.
And I would also say, don't, even if, unless you've worked with that person several times, don't trust what they're saying 100%. Don't, if you see the deal and they've given you 5 comps in the area and you can look all those up, that doesn't necessarily, there's so many factors about comp.
Okay. Real quick about that. Comps should be what? Within a half mile,
ideally,
same bedroom, same bath. Tell us about that, because that's something we need to know too. How does the rest of the real estate world look at comparables, and what do they need to be?
Hugely important. That's a hugely important point, Justin.
Yeah.
You want that comp to be as close as possible as it could possibly be. If it's got 1-car garage, do not comp it with a 2-car garage. You're going to lose 7 to 10.
No. Well, what if it's 900 square feet, the subject property, but the comparables around are 975, 848, 1025. What's the magic sauce here?
I'd say that's you within 100 square feet, you're
okay,
pretty confident of that.
Yeah.
When you start getting into 250, 300, 400 square feet, you're talking about a whole nother bedroom in a house practically. And that's when your valuation is going to start.
Sure. What happens if the house, the subject property, is a ranch style, but the comparables are mostly, let's say, split level or something?
Yeah, like a side-to-side split or something.
Yeah,
like
something configured completely different. Does this change the game on the?
Yeah, it does, and it really is more about just experience. There's not a formula really that I've found for a ranch compared to a split level.
Yeah.
I think at that point I would be more concerned about the surroundings and what's in the backyard and how big is the yard, is it fenced in, how busy is the street that runs out in front of the house, is it on a crawl space or is it on a foundation? Those are the kind of things I think if you can get, like I said, the more elements about that subject house that you can get with your comps, the more elements that you can get that are similar, whether it's square footage or is it on foundation, how many car garage does it have, beds, baths, size of the kitchen, size of the yard, then the ranch and the split level doesn't play quite as much into it.
I see.
People, I think ranches typically will sell quicker because the buying pool is larger, and that is due to older people like ranches.
No steps, no stairs to have to climb.
Yeah, so they don't have as many stairs to climb. So they're gonna gravitate towards those a little bit more. So what's that do? That opens up your buying pool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you're sharing this with us. We're talking about comps, comparables, establishing value, after repair value being really, you can't even run your wholesaler formula until you have a good idea what that after repair value is. And we're talking
number one thing, you got to know what that sucker's going to sell for, and you got to be confident of that.
Right. That after repair value is where all calculations begin, right?
That's it.
So you got to get confident with that, y'all. There's tools out there that help with this. There's realtors out there that will help with this. But yeah, you want to look for comparables that are within, we said within a half a mile. I like 0.3 miles personally, but if half a mile,
the closer the better. The more you can find within the closest perimeter. If you're in the neighborhood, if you can find 4 or 5 that are super close to the same as your house in the same neighborhood, you're pretty confident about those comps.
I was looking at some comparables the other day, just kind of analyzing a property deal with one of my mentees, and they were talking about how they had this one property. They were like, well, this could be a comparable. It's 3.21 miles away. And I was like, ooh, no. See, that's like a whole other part of town.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, you want to get the square feet, within like 100 or so. You want to have the same beds and baths. You want to have the same is styled, if you can, in the same neighborhood within 0.3 or 0.5 miles. Let's talk about age. What if this comparable I find is 18 months old? Is it comparable?
Not really.
Not really.
Depends on if your subject house is 18 months old. That's
yeah.
And typically, that's not the case. Typically, if you're working with a wholesale deal, it's not going to be a 18-month house. So
we're talking about 6 months, 8 months. What's a good comparable time frame?
Oh yeah. Well, I'd say the older they get, the wider that gets. Okay.
Yeah.
And because then it's more of how well that were they taken care of, and how bad have they settled?
Yeah.
Settled in the cracks in the foundation, and then they got settlement marks by all the windows and above by every door. Then so the older it gets, and I'd say after you go over, let's say 50, 60 years, it starts to become super gray and very much more consistent with the more about the square footage and how well it was taken care of and that kind of thing.
I see.
But yeah, as far as a brand new house compared to even a 15-year-old house, I would not use those as a comp.
Those aren't comparable. Man, I'm learning some things here. Are you guys out there learning some things here? These are some pretty good straight facts on how to figure your after repair value and how to look at comparables. If you're out there trying to figure out the wholesale game or just an investor game, and you don't know this one skill, I'd say the ship has sailed for you.
Yeah, I would say don't invest your money until you know these things. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, let's say I want to go ahead. Maybe I live in the state of Illinois. Maybe I live in another state where I feel like, they don't love wholesalers or they don't love the investor or what have you. But and I want to go ahead and get a license. And like I was saying, a lot of investors out there. In fact, guys, I was last night doing a little bit of research, so I didn't sound quite so ignorant this morning when I was talking about some of these topics. And I was looking at the EXP Realty, which is where Jason Amberson is from, and he was on the page, but it was listing off the brokers and agents and recruiters and on, the people involved in the EXP Realty just here in my local market. Okay. And I saw him, I saw this other person, I saw this other person that I know, this other person I know, this other person I know. And I was like, wow, this here, man, why are all these wholesalers in town and investors and fix and flippers that I know, why are they over here with this guy? There's something to this. Okay. So I want to kind of open, of course, the floor is open, guys. If you've got questions, you can unmute your microphones. You can turn your video cameras on here in the Zoom room. You can find us at zoomjustin.com. But if I want to go ahead and get a license, and that's not a bad idea. A lot of people in the wholesale game, a lot of people in the real estate investing game, go ahead and get their license so they can have access to the MLS to help with this issue of getting the after repair value, as well as some other things that you get access to. And so can you kind of just, we've got probably 20 whole minutes left here for the hour. If you want to just kind of walk us through, what is it like to become a realtor? What does it take to become a realtor or become licensed? Sure. Can you explain to us how that broker thing works? I mean, I've heard that you have to have a broker. I'm not licensed. Okay. But I've heard you have to pick a broker, and if you pick the wrong one, it's like misery and floor time, what they call floor time, where I guess I'm sitting my ass at a desk and answering phones or something.
Well, this is definitely a topic I'm very excited.
So, I mean, tell me, if I want to become a realtor, what's the best way?
Well, I would say definitely start with EXP. No, but first thing you're going to want to do is go on the internet and go to your state website, your real estate commission of your state. You're in Missouri, this Missouri Real Estate Commission, and look at the guidelines for becoming an agent, what that's going to take. Typically, it's going to mean you're going to need a couple weeks worth of training and a class.
2 whole weeks of school.
Couple of weeks. Yeah. It's
2 whole weeks of school, y'all. Buckle up.
And, that's usually going to be about $800. The whole process here in Missouri is right between $1,500 and $2,000 because you're going to have to get your license. I mean, you're going to have to go take your classes. You're going to have to take your tests.
I see.
It costs money.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get started with after you get your test, you got to get your MLS. Yeah. And that's an initial fee there. And then you'll have monthly fees on that as well.
So we're talking like a couple grand.
Yeah. Usually $1,500 to $2,000 get you rolling.
And then what's the monthly nut?
Depends on where you go. Sometimes it can be very expensive with other companies, and I've been at 3 other companies, and I'm not here to bash companies whatsoever. I learned a lot at every company that I worked with. But some companies have desk fees that are very expensive. The last company I was with, it was about $1,100 a month. Now your commission split was a little bit different, and there's a whole nother monster that we can get into and dive into. Commission splits, and then
it sounds like they eat half your money.
Yeah, typically that's what they're after, especially you get on a team and there's a whole other aspect of it, So,
oh boy,
things I love about real estate. There's so many ways to make money in this, but it's another thing that I'm so excited about EXP because we're multifaceted ways to make money and to build wealth. And what I could almost guarantee you, every single person on this page is on here to build wealth. Would you agree with that?
Man, I would say you got a good chance of being right.
Yeah. And so that's super important to every entrepreneur. We want to build wealth.
Yeah.
And so it's important to choose the correct real estate company to do that with.
Yeah.
And I've been with 3 other companies.
Now, if I get a license and I pass the test, I go to 2 weeks of school, I get the test, I pass it. And a lot of people pass it, so it must be passable. Okay, it's not impossible. It's passable. So,
yes.
Anyway, once I get all that done, I send an application to the state or something, and they take care of me. They get me going in the system. I'm now licensed. Now I have to pick a broker, right? So
that's when you call me.
That's when that's when everybody calls Jason Amberson.
Call me 816-838-4525. And we'll discuss that. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to help you make the best decision. Yeah. I will not twist your arm to come to EXP. I'm going to lay it out on the line. I'm going to talk to you about what Reese Nichols has to offer, what Remax has to offer, and we'll dig through all that together. And then we'll put EXP up next to any one of those companies, Keller Williams, whatever, and we'll go apples for apples.
Yeah.
What that opportunity, that wealth building opportunity has for you, each one of those companies.
Now, typically a broker, like you said, traditionally, once I get my license and I have to sign up under a broker, typically that broker is going to charge me some fees. Not only do I have my license fees that I have to take care of, I guess, and things like that.
Everywhere you go, you're going to have those.
Yeah. But he's also going to then take 50% or what have you of what I get.
And that would be your commission split.
Yeah. Oh man, this starts to hurt. Okay. I'm already hurting a little bit. But you're telling me EXP they don't do any of that kind of stuff.
Oh no, we have a commission split as well. We have other opportunities to earn some of that money back with stock bonuses. We have an equity program that for each transaction you can choose to withhold 5%, and they will invest it in their publicly traded stock at a 10% discount.
Yeah.
And then so that you're actually investing in yourself, almost like a little 401k.
Yeah.
Our stock has continued to grow over the years as our company continues to grow. We've had when I started last year with EXP in November, we had 16,000 agents, and we have over 25,000 agents.
Wow.
We're the fastest company to ever achieve 10,000 agents. The quickest company before us was Keller Williams. They took 18 years to get 10,000 agents.
Wow.
And we did 20,000 agents in 10 years.
Yeah.
So we doubled what they did in 18 years in 10 years. So
yeah,
there's a reason for that. And, I'd love to share that with everybody as well.
Yeah. I would love for you to share that with us because,
okay.
Yeah.
Is it cool if I share my screen real quick?
Yeah. Like I was saying to everybody, go ahead, man.
Okay.
I've seen, when I was going through the EXP Realty local, I was amazed at there's people on my cash buyers list that are on there, man.
Yeah.
I know these people and, and I respect them. And I'm like, wow, they're over here at EXP. I can't wait for Jason to tell us what's going on over there because there's something good happening.
Well, this is my website. You can go to this, Jason Amberson. So everybody can see that?
Yeah, we can see you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
JasonAmberson.exprealty.careers. So I've got a couple websites I'm going to show you. That's the one, if you're interested in becoming an agent, that you'll want to go to. And then I'm going to just scroll down through this real quick and show you guys a couple more. So with a focus on innovation, EXP Realty is changing the way that agents, brokers, and consumers work together. EXP Realty's virtual office environment compared to the traditional real estate office allows agents to collaborate and learn together no matter where they are. So we don't have a brick and mortar building. And what we have, as I want to show you real quick, is this virtual world. And I tell you, it is something that is cutting edge. And I was talking to a 24-year-old millennial yesterday who was talking about they are actually building virtual worlds that you can go purchase plots of land in, and you can build a building in that virtual world. And it's all going to tie together with cryptocurrency. You're going to be able to go into this world and go shopping and look for products and find people to help you with your financing and people to help you with, getting a mortgage and all of that's coming down the pike.
You mean I can't pay for it with virtual money though?
Well, yeah, not monopoly money. Cryptocurrency is probably the closest thing to virtual money there is, but it does come at a cost.
That's cool.
But yes, you see this little video here. This is our virtual world that you go into your office and you go here and you got billboards that show you what's going on. We have a tech office. You go into the auditorium we have 40 plus hours of training every single week with the top professionals in the nation coming in to teach us in classes. You are actually sitting there with your person and you can raise your hand and you can talk.
Wow, that's cool.
And
so you become the avatar.
You are the avatar.
Wow.
And you can go in and see like these types of offices. And so our brokers will hold meetings and you can go into these meetings. We have an office for agent services. We have an accounting department. Like I said, we have this auditoriums that you go in and this classes that you can take. And the classes are on everything. They're on teaching you how to market, how to get your license, how to become an EXP agent. And we have a lead generation program called KV Core that they go into classes on that. And I mean, KV Core in and of itself is such a powerful system. You almost got to be a techie expert to really utilize every single aspect.
Now, this isn't old school realtor training, is it?
No. This is nobody's hiding anything. Matt Graham, who was my sponsor, got me into EXP, makes a good point when he does his presentation and talks about when you're at a local office and they bring in the big guy to teach you how to become a real estate agent. You think he's going to give you all of his secrets when you're his direct competition?
Right.
He's keeping some of that stuff in his pocket. Oh yeah. And when you go into this EXP world, we're in all 50 states. We're in 4 provinces in Canada. We just opened Australia.
Wow.
Opened the UK last year. Australia literally just opened at the beginning of December last year. And but we have the top professionals come into these auditoriums and teach us how to market,
Yeah.
How to contact for sale by owners.
Wow.
How to contact your expired listings.
Yeah.
And go into as much detail as you want. And the beautiful thing about it is that you can communicate directly with those people. They'll have a question and answer session at the end, and you unmute your mic and you talk directly to them. Top professionals in the country. Yeah. So
wow. That's cool. That's really cool. Man, thank you for playing that little video. That I hadn't seen anything quite like that. Where that's pretty neat. Where you become the avatar and you go to class and you have meetings, and that's pretty cool.
I can guarantee you, like I said, after talking to that 24-year-old, I'm 49, almost twice his age, over twice his age. It's the way of the future. People are going to start doing business more and more and more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And now we've already, started building our world that we'll be able to probably communicate with and lock into. I believe that eventually we're going to have it where our clients can actually have the avatar and go into our virtual world.
Wow.
To a mortgage broker, talk to warranty company, talk to the HVAC guy that we recommend, the 3 or 4 HVAC guys that we recommend.
If you're in the lease option business out there, guys, you ought to really consider this. This is really, this is going to get you access. I've got a question here too, while we're at it, Jason.
Yeah.
Somebody said in the chat, can I get my license just so I can get MLS access? Do I have to work for a broker if I just want to be able to advertise the properties?
You will need to hang your hat with a brokerage for sure. And
that's the law, right? I mean, that's in every 50 state, correct?
You'll have to have a broker until you're 2 years, and then you can go get your own broker's license, and then you won't need to be under a broker. But one of the beautiful things about EXP is that you will be able to be a part of our company for $85 a month.
$85 a month. It takes care of your access to these tools, to the trainings. Is that right? All of this?
Yeah. And, we're talking about commission splits. We have one of the best commission splits in the business. We're 80-20 commission split.
Oh my gosh.
Caps at 16,000. As soon as you do about 2.7 million in business, 2.66, you reach your cap and you're 100% after that. In Kansas City, with our value, our average sales price of around 200,000, that's doing about 12 to 15 houses. You do close that many deals, you've capped out. Everything after that's 100%. And then we also have an icon award. So one of the other things I really wanted to kind of stress here is the equity programs that we have. We can, after we've done our, there's a couple of small details to this, but basically after you've capped out and you've done another 20 deals. So in Kansas City, you'd have to do about 33 to 35 deals. After you've done that many deals, you become an icon and you get your $16,000 back in stock.
Wow.
So that takes 3 years to vest, but there's, like I said, there's a couple other things. You immediately get 12,000 back in stock, and then you have to go to 2 of our events, and they give you another $2,000 in stocks, in shares for each one of those events that you attend, because they want you at those events to share how you're successful with other people, and that's our collaboration too. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so very cool.
I feel like there's some people out there that just really need to settle into the idea of having a nice, maybe for the first time ever in their lives, having a nice 5-year plan and including something like this in it. Because by the end of the 5 years, look at where you'd be. You're a professional. You have professional tools. You have professional trainings. You have the wholesale game. You understand. You've got cash buyers lists. You are one dangerous professional out there in this market. And I don't mean in a bad way. I mean,
now listen to this, Justin.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up the 5-year plan, because I have a 5-year plan.
No kidding.
To have $100,000 in residual income every year annually, and it's a very simple plan. If I can get 2 agents to join me, and I can teach those 2 agents to get 2 agents, within 5 years, I'll have 100 people on my team, and I will be sharing in their revenue. And that's what I was getting ready to show you with this company.
Wow.
EXP agents can receive revenue share income from the sales activity of the productive agents they sponsor into the company. Yeah. Agents earn based on adjusted gross commission from the sales transactions closed by a personally sponsored capping agent and productive agents. So here's how it works real quick. On my first tier, from 1 to 5, from 1 to 5 agents that I bring in, I make 3.5% of everything they do until they cap.
Wow. Isn't that crazy, guys? As an agent?
As the agent. So
like not even as a broker.
I'll probably never get my broker's license because
why do you need it?
The team.
Yeah, why would you need a broker's license if you can build this kind of an organization as an agent?
Yeah. And I mean, this is one of the most exciting things about EXP. There's actually agents in our company making $500,000 a month.
Wow.
With this program and with this revenue share.
Say that again. Oh, wait a minute. I choked on that. What was that? I choked on the words.
Yeah. No,
say it again.
No joke. So
how much?
$500,000 a month. And
what?
It's actually surpassing that. They're starting to exponentially grow beneath them without their power, without them doing anything.
And we're talking a 5-year plan here, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, these people are, it's extremely interesting and very simple. Like I said, in 5 years, even if I just, if I barely work at it at all, I would, getting 2 agents a year to come on board, 2 capping agents.
Yeah.
And I can teach teach all them to do the same thing. Jeez. In 5 years, I'm going to have about 100 people underneath of me.
I've got some tools that I recommend as a real estate wholesaler. One of those is a scraper and data collector, and you can blast and things like that too. But I guess what I'm getting at is recruiting two realtors into your organization a year seems like I could do that while I'm sleeping almost.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't seem hard at all. I mean, if you get it done sometime in the first half of the year and then get another one done in the second half of the year, you're good.
And that's just with not even trying. I mean, if you call agents every week, you call 5 agents a week, you figure that times 52 or 50, say you take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
5 times 5 is 25. You're calling 250 agents. You don't tell me you're not going to be able to get 2 doing that.
Right. And this is in all 50 states.
We're in all 50 states. You can get agents in the US, Canada, and right now the UK. And like I said, we just opened Australia. So wow. I'm super excited about Australia. I'm going to be making phone calls over there and trying to get some of the bigger agents to come on board, because when when you get at the beginning of this company, that's what happens. You get people underneath you. However, we are still at the beginning. I mean, we've only got 25,000 agents. There's 1.3 million agents in the country. So we got plenty of market share out there to continue to chase after. But yeah, so you can kind of see how this revenue plan works.
Wow.
And, so, some of our competitors have profit sharing, and the way that this differs from that is that we get paid right out of the bat. We get paid first. We're agent owners. We get paid first. Profit sharing is after they've paid for their brick and mortar buildings that we don't have, and they've paid for their printers to be repaired, and after they've paid for all their parties and all the fun things that they do for marketing, then they give everybody a little slice of what's left over. We get right out of the chute for every single transaction that one of my agents does. I get 3.5% of what they do. And then as I continue to grow, if I get 5 agents, 10 agents, 15 agents, my percentages go up they clear down to the 7th level. So somebody that I brought in, they brought someone in, clear down to the 7th level. I will get paid on them as I continue to recruit more and more agents. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
I see folks get their license here in town, in my local market, our local market. And they inevitably, a lot of them sign up under a broker here in town that if I were to mention the name, we would all go, yep, big broker here in town. Everybody gets recruited, or they try to recruit everybody that gets a license. And I always, when I see people make that decision to go into that particular broker or under that brokerage, I think to myself, oh boy, here we go. I know you're not even getting the best deal in town, but give it a week or two and you'll be snooty too. Okay.
Yeah. Their caps are a lot higher than ours. Their cuts are a lot lower than ours. And like I said, I'm happy to sit down with anybody, existing agents, new agents, people that want to be an agent, and sit down and gladly go for apples and show you what we have to offer. Because we actually have an opportunity to make over 100% commission and what we would normally make in the real estate business.
Wow. That's wild. So let's open the floor. Oh, I got a question in the chat too.
Okay.
Like for example, there's an office here in Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. But what if I lived in a different part of the state where there was no local office close? Is this going to make it difficult for me to be an EXP agent? Or
actually, that's one of the most beautiful things about it, is it's even simpler to become an EXP agent. Like I said, we can recruit agents from anywhere in the world, wherever we're open, and we're all 50 states and Canada. And like I said, if you're in a remote area, EXP is ideal for you. And just like I said, give me a call, and more than happy to get you hooked up. Well, I wanted to put this up too, Justin.
Yeah. Go ahead. Share your screen again, man.
I got a picture. I was going to.
Yeah. And anybody that has questions too, feel free to unmute the microphone at this time. We've been going at it for about an hour. It's definitely time for you guys to interact here with us if you have questions. And I saw Rick out of California. I think he's in the Zoom room. He's also a licensed agent and an investor and a wholesaler. He probably has some things that he could add here. Feel free to, Rick, or any of you others. Absolutely jump right in here. But go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything?
I do have a question in regards to comps, not specifically about EXP. Is that
no? Okay? That's fine. Sure.
Okay. So I'm working with a woman. She's an experienced. she's 84 years old. She owns a few different rental properties, and so basically, she's motivated to sell. She's tired of being a landlord, but she's not in a hurry to sell because she's basically waiting to get the best offer from as many people who want to give her offers. So the house itself, the county market value is about $95,900. And I spoke with a realtor who works in our market. Also, we're in the Columbia, South Carolina market. I spoke with her, and she said sometimes when she can't find comps, which I can't find similar comps, she takes the county market value, adds that to the Zillow value, which I know isn't always accurate, and divides that by 2, and that's how she comes up with her ARV.
That's interesting.
Tell her to put that on a piece of paper and crumple it up.
That's some backwoods math right there, man. I've never heard that. That's some pretty cool. What happens if you divide it by 4 and then times it by the square root of 3?
Haven't tried that yet.
Yeah. It's probably going to get her somewhat of an idea to the value. I mean, maybe within 10 or 15%. But that's not something you can rely on. I would definitely reach out to a real estate professional, or at least, go and, you can go on Zillow and maybe look up like some of the homes that have sold in the last 6 months within a half mile or maximum mile. If you can find 3 or 4 within a half mile, and like I said, get them as close as you possibly can to whichever the subject property is, as many factors as you can, garages, foundations, as many factors as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's going to give you a lot better picture of what that house is worth. County valuations are completely worthless.
Sure.
Yeah, they are. Especially now in Kansas City, Missouri, more than ever, huh?
Yeah. They could be old. Even some of the newer ones. I just had my house revalued with the state or with the county.
Yeah.
They had it. And then I had it appraised, and it was about $40,000 different.
Right. Yeah.
Than what, and it was brand new. It was a brand new valuation. So.
Yeah, but what's 40,000?
Yeah. And then ultimately, guys, the market is going to tell you what your house is worth, and especially this market. There's so many buyers out there that they've been searching for months. They know when they walk into a house what that house is worth. There's very
right
out there right now. But anyway, yeah, I'd say just to kind of wrap up your question, I would definitely look up some of your own comps yourself. You can do that through Zillow as well. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Trulia, Zillow. You can kind of get an amalgamated,
recently solds.
Yeah.
You might. I've never done it.
You have to pick and choose it on the map. Yeah. So it'll show you little pinpoints where things are, where they've been and where they've sold or what have you. And you can click on that and then get, it's the long version of getting it. But
yeah.
Well, I do have PropStream, and I looked up, they're pretty good at showing comps, but realistically, when I compare the comps, there's really not much. It's not much comparable.
Is it really because the house style or the size, or what's so?
No, because most of the houses in this subdivision are either 2-1s or 3-1s. Very few 3-2s. So they're older houses built in the late 40s and early 50s. It's a decent house, but realistically, it's probably going to end up being a rental property, not something that we would spend a ton of money trying to flip. But I had made her an offer based on what I thought the comps were. And then when I looked at the comps a little bit more carefully and noticed that the comps were really, really nice houses in the same subdivision, really, really nicely rehabbed. I realized that I probably offered her a lot more than I should have, and I'm not going to be able to keep the offer that I gave her, but I told her it was contingent upon inspection and all that. So,
yeah,
that's another thing that you got to be real careful with when you're getting those comps is the condition of that house compared to, and that's when it gets down into a topic that we didn't even get into, Justin, which would have been my number 2 thing is, number 1 being what's that house going to sell for? What are the comps saying? And
right.
2, what are you going to have to do to that house to get to be like those comps?
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because you did want to talk about that, and I think I skipped over it, but what's there used to be a formula, and it was like, take, if it's in great shape, but it needs cosmetics like paint and stuff, then, take the square foot and multiply that by $10. And then it was like, if it's a little worse, take it and multiply it by 15. And if it's in pretty bad shape, it needs a lot of everything, then do it by 20. Those numbers don't work no more.
No. And I was getting ready to just say that I wouldn't trust any kind of formula like that, because every house is so unique and so different. I mean, somebody might have just remodeled the kitchen and you only have to go remodel a couple bathrooms or 1 bathroom, and might have already put new carpet in. So there's just way too many factors involved to use some kind of a formula like that. So you just, if you don't know the cost yourself and what it's going to cost I can pretty much walk in and just look at the kitchen and say, this is going to be about 8,000 to 10,000. You're going to cost about 5 to 7 to do this bathroom. and, just because of my experience. But if you don't have that kind of experience, you're a new agent, or new investor, then you're going to probably want to reach out to a professional, or maybe 2 or 3, and get a couple of quotes with some professional contractors.
Yeah. Here, I recommend, if you're new in the wholesaling game and you're trying to get a bead on repair costs, one of the best things you can do, in my opinion, is to take one of your experienced cash buyers with you, and they know, because they've got experience, like what Jason was just saying. He's been in it for a bit, so he kind of just walks in and he kind of has a feel for it. He knows. Well, take one of your great cash buyers with you. First of all, they'll appreciate it. They'll also like the fact that they're getting a first shot at something that you brought to the table. They're going to like it. And then when they go out there, ask them and listen and learn what it is and how it is that they're looking at these things, so that you can kind of get your feel for it.
James, did you say you were actually purchasing this house for yourself, or is it something you were going to be wholesaling?
Actually, there's not a ton of work that needs to be done on it. Normally I would wholesale it, but I think with this property, we were looking at fixing and flipping. It is in a hot area. All the subdivisions that are around it have houses that are in the 200 to 350 range. And this house, we could pick this. The offer that I made her was 72.5. We figured on about $15,000 to $20,000 worth of rehab, but there's nothing major structurally or anything that needs to be done to the house.
And you said the comps are going for what in the area?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. There really aren't, even though it is, it is a really hot area in the Columbia market, but there really aren't, as I said, after going back and looking at the comps really were not good comps. And
okay, I've got a guy, and this is another one of the cool things about EXP. I'm getting friends all over the country now. There's a gentleman that lives in South Carolina, and I believe he's actually just moved to Columbia, South Carolina, and his name is Shannon Pyatt. I don't know. I'm going to look in my phone here real quick. I don't know that I have his phone number. I'm sure I could get it for you. You can more than likely Google him. He's an EXP agent, and I said his name's Shannon Pyatt. Give him a call. Super nice guy. Another one of the giving back to the world kind of guys, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help you get a real good bearing on what the value of that house is.
Okay, how do you spell his name? S-H-A-N?
S-H-A-N-N-E-N. Yeah, I think it's E-N, or it might even be A-N. Here, let me look him up on my Facebook real quick. And his last name is P-Y-A-T-T.
Okay.
Let me pop it up here. Facebook.
It's pretty cool to be a part of an organization that you can reach out to people, and say, hey, what's up? I've got something cooking over there. Maybe not, well, can you put some eyes on this for me?
No, that's a beautiful thing. And another really cool thing about the collaboration aspect of EXP, we also can refer. That's a big part of our business is, we get 25%. If I refer somebody over to Shannon as a real estate agent in South Carolina, he's obligated to pay me 25%. Now, he doesn't have to, but typically that's going to be what happens. If I send him somebody, we're going to get 25%.
Man, you got my wheels spinning, man. I mean, as an entrepreneur, I'm just like, wow, I think I could turn this machine on.
I'm telling you, EXP is something else. But yeah, Shannon, it's S-H-A-N-N-O-N-P-Y-A-T-T.
S-H-A-N-N-O-N?
Yeah, it is O-N. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask a question, because I think maybe other people that are not a part of EXP may be concerned about or wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
I've been involved in a lot of multi-level network marketing. I know every time I talk to somebody about their multi-level or network marketing program, they say, well, it's not network marketing. It's not MLM, blah, blah, blah. But if you have a multi-tiered program, it is network marketing. It is multi-level marketing.
It's network marketing. I say it proudly.
Yeah.
Name me a company that's not a pyramid. Every company has a CEO. Every company has vice presidents. And the difference between them and a network marketing company is they are the ones that make all the money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No other EXP, no other real estate company that I know of can you get a stock bonus. No other company can you invest in your stocks and at a discounted rate. No other company that I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong and send me an email or whatever. I have not seen a company yet that's going to give you back your entire $16,000 cap after you sell a certain amount of houses. There's a lot of agents out there that sell 30 houses, 35 houses a year.
Yeah.
And that's in Kansas City market. You go to another East Coast market where the average sell price is $400,000 a year. $400,000 a house, then you can do it even faster. So the network marketing side of it to me is the wealth building and exponential growth monster that the harder you work it, the bigger it's going to be.
That's the way I saw it too, man. I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting that they incorporated this feature into the machine, because it's not something I recognize from other places.
Well, and like I said, I've been with 3 other companies, and EXP first and foremost is an incredible real estate company. We're an incredible real estate brokerage. First and foremost, the revenue share is secondary, but people that tap into it are making ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah.
So you can, and I also have a theory about network marketing that a lot of people don't think about. So you take you name it. Let's say one of the makeup companies, let's say Avon or Mary
Kay.
Okay, Mary Kay. Take Mary Kay. The girl gets into Mary Kay. What's the first thing she does? She tells every single person that she knows she's in this company, and it's the best company, and I have the best product, and I do this. Well, the attrition rate for any company is about 80%. You're about 80% guaranteed that person's going to fail. So what did she just do? She told every single person what she does and what she's doing, and then they watch her fail. What's their first reaction? Right. Mary Kay's not a good company. Network marketing doesn't work. Network marketing has made more millionaires in this country than any other business model in the world.
Yeah.
It is one of the most fascinating, one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Enriching companies and company business structures to work for, because I want to help you. I want to help you. I want you to succeed. So,
it's interesting.
I don't have a problem with network marketing. Some people do because they don't understand it and they're afraid of it. And they've seen people fail. Well, guess what? If you get into real estate, you're an average person, you got about an 80% chance of failing within your first 3 years.
Yeah.
So, it's just it's just life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think of it like this. I used to be my mom and dad are ministers. Okay. So I grew up this, you think about network marketing. Jesus had 12 disciples, but he had 3 that were closer than that. Peter, James, and John. Then he had the others, and kind of a hierarchy of pyramid. And, there's no way to escape it in life. My family is a pyramid, my wife is sitting at the top. Just ask her. Okay. So anyway, I think you got your mic.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if we have any more questions out there, guys. Now's the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Or you can shoot Mr. Jason Amberson an email.
I feel like I kind of butted in front of James's question. Was there something else that you wanted to iterate about that? I apologize. I kind of got a little boisterous.
Well, okay. I guess my major concern, I have been really good at recruiting people, and I thought training people when it came to previous MLMs that I was involved in. However, what has tanked almost every single company that I've been involved in is, I'm 61 years old. So I've been involved in quite a few of them, but every one of them has failed by the wayside, and it's mainly because the majority of the profits that the individual reps were making was as a result of recruiting others into the program and not by selling a product to an end user or an end buyer. So that's my major concern. So is your program?
Yeah, what I would speak to that is most network marketing companies, what's the number one thing you need? You need a good product.
Sure.
One thing you need is a good product that people are going to use and they're going to stick to it, and they're going to use it all the time and they're never going to leave. Well, we don't have a product. We do, and it's something that every single person uses, and that's a house. We buy a house. So that's the number one difference, I think, between, and I've been in a lot of different network marketing companies.
I've dipped into it too, man, and I can relate, man. I really can. I've thought, man, this is the next big ship, and then it wasn't. And
and like I said, that's why that's one of the things that excites me the most about this company. You don't have to recruit,
right?
You're a real estate agent.
Right.
First and foremost, EXP is an incredible real estate business, incredible real estate model. I'll put it up to any real estate company out there.
Yeah.
That you're going to make just as much or more than any other company that you're going to go work for. And you're going to have some of the best training, some of the best support by going into the office. We have 400, almost 500 employees that are ready, willing, and able at any given time. And you go into that virtual world to assist you to answer any question that you have.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild.
It's incredible.
You got me interested in it, man. You probably see me. I'll probably have to call you up and get my license now.
Hey, man, let's do it, Justin. Yeah. I love it.
I'm serious. I really am. I ought to go ahead. I've been the renegade, man. Like, one time
I'm not getting my license. I'll show them I can make money in real estate.
Exactly. And it's silly. It's silly, really.
Oh, I think it's fun. I think you're doing a fine job.
Hey, thank you very much.
Shut up, money, baby.
Yeah. What's some more questions out there? Anybody got anything? I'm real grateful for your time today, Jason. And
hey, man, I'm
knowledge.
Very grateful to be on here, and I'll gladly do it anytime. Thank you.
Well, man, thanks for being here, and we will do it again sometime.
Good.
Any last questions out there? Anybody got anything?
Hey, I just kind of wanted to chime in real quick. This is Rick out of California. How you guys doing?
Welcome,
hey,
Rick.
What's going on?
Hey, I appreciate you sharing EXP. I'm a licensed agent. I'm actually studying to get my broker's license myself. I just personally think that there are a lot of different companies that have a lot of pros and cons. EXP, being one of them. There's a lot of pros. A lot of the newer agents, they may need more of a traditional brokerage to go in, sit down with somebody and things like that, where others may not. And I just kind of wanted to chime that out there for anybody listening, that if you are new, really look at the plus and minuses that a lot of these brokerages have, because one may be great for somebody and not so great for you, and kind of vice versa. But
absolutely, like I said, I totally agree with that, Rick. You did not this, EXP isn't for everyone. Remax isn't for everyone, and definitely one of the main things that you're going to want to look for is support. And like I said, I really believe in the EXP model in that aspect because of the collaboration and support that we're going to give the people that we bring into our team. But no, I agree. I totally agree. You want to definitely look at each company and really analyze which one's going to fit best for you.
I really like some of the things I've seen in EXP Realty today. And I think, I agree with what you guys are saying. As far as a real estate wholesaler goes, I like the virtual nature of it, though. I like the virtual reality world, that I don't have to be at a broker's office doing floor time or desk time or whatever they call it, answering the phone or just doing what I don't want to do. That's not why I wanted to be a realtor or get a license. I like that. That it's so, I think it would fit some people. And there may be some people that like the one-on-one interaction, going in and doing floor time and doing this and that and whatever. But yeah, so cool. So many great options. And what blows my mind about it is the whole network marketing aspect of it, where, I could have a team. So, that's really what I'm daydreaming, guys.
Well, so, and like I said, the wealth building opportunity, when you think about, Justin, and you're very well versed on this, how many rental properties would you need to have a $100,000 a year residual income?
Well, I would need way more than I want to have to screw with.
Exactly. That's a great answer.
Like probably we're talking like 150 probably is, I'm guessing somewhere around.
Oh yeah. I would think so. Well, you think about it, 100,000, you'd have to be making, it'd be $1,000 a year on each house.
Yeah.
You'd have to have 100 of them.
That's a lot of dishwashers. Yeah. That's a lot of broken windows and a lot of vacancies and a lot of bullshit, guys.
Yeah, man. But, yeah.
I know guys doing it and they like it. They're cut out for that. I'm not really cut out for that. I don't really like that. I don't really enjoy the fix and flip either. Everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah.
Hey, how many out of, let's say, of 100 EXP agents, how many of those are actually capping a year? Any numbers on that?
I would say just as many that's capping with Keller Williams or Remax. It's going to be
pretty low.
We're one of the averages.
That's a pretty low number then. From what I've seen, most agents, they're not capping, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that. But like I said, I'm sure it's the average, whatever the national average is.
Gotcha. I was just kind of curious as far as, with EXP's training and things like that, if it's actually causing agents to realistically do more deals and not just focus on recruiting. Are they actually selling more real estate?
Well, like I said, I think you're getting into an area that it's people are people, and we're I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that question, to be quite honest.
Gotcha. Okay, no, that's cool. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate your time today for sure.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, man. Jason, sometimes it feels like these guys are putting your feet to the fire a little bit.
Hey, I love it.
Hey, they do that shit to me too, man. So hey,
it's good.
It's all
Rick.
love.
If you could come up with the answer to that, like I said, I'm sure it's average. I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think, like I said, it's a matter of what you put into any company and what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, I've done some research, and the answer that I found is that most agents do not cap. And
I'm sure.
And that's just the fact. What would make agents cap more is if they were trained better on actually how to sell real estate. And if you have companies that are focusing on just recruiting and not actually selling real estate, then, I get it. But I'm not trying to bash anybody.
No, I get, and I totally understand what you're saying. And like I said, I think we're going to fall into the law of averages for that, because it's all about who shows up. If you show up and take our training, you're going to be successful. That's, and I think that's with any company that you work with.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Good points and good perspectives, guys. And I think that's partly what makes this show popular at all, is the idea that we sometimes really just hit hard on some topics. Like we just come right at it, like, this is what it is, and this is the question at hand, and we're doing some of that right here today, and I'm glad for it. I'm learning.
I'm a truth seeker, the truth, and however bad it hurts. And I think that's something that the internet has been incredibly successful in doing, is opening the eyes of people of a lot of different aspects of things. And that's why they're actually trying to curb that, because they want us to believe a certain way. But I won't get into that right now.
No, I agree. So guys, do your own research, do your own due diligence. Hey, why don't you go ahead and pop the share screen again thing and show us your your contact info there. And any last questions? And before we sign off, we've gone a little long today, but but it's okay. I'm glad for it. I want to give a special thank you to everyone out there listening. This show is really all about you. I'm talking about the listener and the participator, the person out there with the headset on or the TV, just watching and gleaning. Hey, thank you. Okay. I would not do this if it weren't for you. I really mean that. And I want to say thank you to Jason Amberson. He's a wonderful man, and you can tell that. He's an integrable man. He's a person of character, person of moral value. Okay. There's a lot of morally corrupt and bankrupt people out there in the world. This is not one of them, guys. But he is a real person, and he would talk with you. He would, communicate, exchange emails, cell phone, what have you. Get in touch.
More than happy to do it. More than happy to. And I thank you very much, Justin, for having me on. Like I said, I'll be more than happy to be on again anytime. And, are you getting paid for this?
Man, I make boatloads of money. Boatloads.
Hey, and that's but you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart. And you don't have to spend your Saturday morning to do this to share. And I think that shows a lot about your character and your integrity as well.
Well, I'll give credit thank you for saying that. And I'll give credit to Gary Vaynerchuk. He said, I was telling somebody this the other day, and I caught him in a gold nugget moment, probably a good year ago. And he said, if your group, if your show, your podcast, whatever it is you're doing, he said, if you'll just make it about the people that actually watch it, he said, it'll really, really take off for you. I guarantee. Man, I made a few adjustments and let go of some of the reins a little bit. And I can tell you what, it 10x my audience.
That's awesome.
Like that. So thanks to
Gary. Be proud of yourself. Cool.
Thanks. Hey, thank you for saying that. But thank you, Gary. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, everybody that spoke up, James and all the others that are here. God bless you. Remember, we're here for you. realestatewholesalersclub.com. Also, go check out Jason. Go check out his website. Shoot him a message. What have you, get in touch with him. He's there for you as well. Hey, thank you, guys. We'll talk with you soon. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
Justin. Talk to you soon.
Justin.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.